Afternoon, everyone. It's Memorial Day weekend. It's been a while since I filmed anything for videos, and as of right now, if you're one of the people that subscribe to my channel, I haven't put up a video in over a month, probably. I think it is. So we're gonna try to do something here since I got a little bit extra long weekend. It's already half over, but we're gonna see if we can get something done the last day and a half here I have of the long weekend. So show you what I'm thinking about working on here. So this is my 1953 Golden Jubilee Ford tractor. Yeah. So I think we're going to try to get this thing going. I know it does run because I had it, well, story behind this tractor, see if this works. Story behind this tractor is, was my grandfather's tractor, way back when. It's been in the family's hands since he owned it. It was given to me by my parents. And so yeah, be really nice to get it fixed up again. I did have it running driving. I'll probably try to get a little video clip here. I think the video clip I remember for sure having is the one of the wife driving it a little bit. So put that in the video. And clutch? Yeah. All the way in with the clutch. All the way, there you go. I believe when I first got it running, it was, well, it's been 4 or 5 years ago. And I had not seen it in my lifetime actually running. It's just been moved around, pulled around with another tractor stuff. You know, it's just been around. So yeah, so it fired up and ran, and put a new carburetor and stuff on it at that time, and new clutch in it. So yeah, we're gonna see about getting this thing all going again. So the tires that are on it now are off of like an Alice Chalmers combine. So they're huge and look kind of ridiculous, but they're kind of fun. I do have the original wheels, which this one, which is was on the right, is actually just fine. Holds air and a little bit of fluid because I have a loader for the tractor. But this one, yeah, it's got a little weight reduction. It's still heavy, but it had a little weight reduction. So eventually I'll have to get new outer wheels and then get some tires, because the centers are actually okay on these. They're like 3/8 of an inch thick. They're pretty tough. But yeah, for now, I got these wheels for $100 for the pair, so I wasn't complaining. So yeah, I guess I'll get her uncovered and we'll see where we're at. Well, there it is, as it's pretty much sat for the last, well, 4 years. Last time I drove it, had a little bit of an oopsie, and I managed to somehow break one of these gears in here, the sector gears. So I ended up, well, waiting 3.5 years basically. And I finally bought the gears, so now the steering gearbox is back on. It was basically parked here. I pulled that apart, and then it sat, and then I moved, and yeah. So, so that's got steering on it again. Steering wheel sitting there, just fits better with the sheet metal over it right now for covering it to keep the rain out. So yeah, carburetor put on, still there. Solenoid, I know I got a ground wire somewhere I got to hook up in there. Right here. Oh, that's for I believe this ground wire is just for the volt gauge up here, but I'll probably try to hook it up, see if it's charging still. It's got a 12 volt conversion with a little GM 1-wire alternator. It was done years and years ago. A lot of guys say it wrecks things, but guess what? That starter I almost guarantee is older than that alternator. So just, saying. And looking at that alternator bracket's actually bent. It hasn't come off yet. It's also got, if you can see, this blue stuff. It's not original tractor. Power steering off of, I believe it's a late 50s, early 60s model tractor. and that was put on when they did with the loader because they're having issues with it being able to steer it easily, which I don't blame them, because yeah, you're not moving, it's hard to steer with all that extra weight. But distributor on the side of the engine, power steering pump for the power steering stuff. Overall, fairly simple little tractor. Yeah, trying to remember all this stuff. It's on the same plug wires and stuff that it was on when I got it running. I don't even think I put new plugs in it. I might have, but the fuel tank was put on new before it was parked, so it was basically a new empty tank that sat for who knows how long. I had to get a new fuel petcock because the original one was full of, like, I'm guessing it was a lead precipitate. So yeah, brakes all work actually, believe it or not. I have this has got the optional running boards. The one over here, just a full board running board. On the other side, it has the one with toolbox in it, which I've been working on for several years too, just on and off. So, but yeah, I guess we're gonna see where we go here. What else here? Oh yeah, here's the loader. Mounts to these 4 bolts in the front, and there's that's got a separate hydraulic pump for the loader, so it's a self-contained unit, which is nice. And then it mounts back there too on the rear axle. Yeah, I'm trying to think here. I think yeah, it's all pretty much straightforward, regular tractor stuff. It's got the Sherman transmission in it, the high-low, which works. So, but I think I'm gonna start hooking up wires that I need. Probably go grab a battery. I have the key in the shop. All right, that goes there. Oh, well, definitely not charging, because this is a wire from the alternator, and it's kind of just here. So I'll have to figure out where that goes. And then these had a ground out, or a ground. You supply ground to the solenoid start, which I don't have right now. So yeah, so I guess I'm just gonna start picking away at it, and I'll check back in. Alright, so I cleaned the bowl out, and I got the pliers out and got this so it moves again, and there's nothing coming out, which is either really good or really bad. I think the tank is, I know I didn't put much in it last time I had it. Yeah, there's a little bit, just enough to smell in there, so we should be good on that front. Yeah, I already looked at the distributor. Everything looks nice and clean, just as clean as it was when I messed with it before. And then the oil is still at perfect level. Then I get, there we go. Don't want to put the spider web in if I can help it. Yeah, so I think I'm trying to go through my little mental checklist. I wonder if there's coolant in it. I think there is. Yeah, there's some stuff in there. I don't know if you can see it at all, but yeah, I can see it right above the core. So it's actually full technically. Yeah, maybe I'll go grab a battery and see if I can make it do anything. Now, where's my ground cable? That might be helpful. Oh, anybody see a ground cable? All right, I'm gonna find the ground and I'll get back to you. All right, so I managed to find the ground clamp, or ground wire lying on the ground underneath the tractor. I actually think it might be the original, but yeah, so that's back in there. Got a battery in it. No fires yet, so that's good. See if all the wiring's still hooked up the way it was before, and if the motor's still behaving. I just got a key switch rigged up. So. Hey. She gonna start, man. So, next is go get some fresh gas. Dump that in the tank. Let's see, here, put some fresh gas in it. We already checked the oil. I mean, if you're gonna wanna really, we checked coolant. I'm not checking power steering fluid because I mean I still don't even have any fluid in the gearbox there, so that's fine. But the rear trans dipstick reads, if it'll focus, there. Technically overfull, which is right because it says that it's supposed to read full with all the cylinders out, which the cylinders it's talking about are the ones that control this. There's a cylinder inside the rear housing there that controls the 3-point lifting arms. But yeah, so that's that. Which the fluid is actually, I never touched, and doesn't smell funny. It's not milky or cloudy like there's water in it. So that's actually a really good sign, saying that everything in the back end actually still works. I mean, mechanical brakes, they did work. This one feels a little funny now, but this one, yep, still works. And that was a beautiful thing because the brakes work and help get that bad tire off, because the center was actually spinning inside the tire when I was trying to break lugs loose. It was a good day. So yeah, I'm gonna go get some gas. All right, so I found the running boards. Back when I worked at a fab shop, I had them sandblasted, and then I primed this one. And when I get to the other side, I'll show you what I've been doing on that one. That was a couple years ago I was working on it. But got the fuel bowl cleaned up here. Let's see. And I had to fight with it a little bit, but we got gas flowing now. So we got gas flow. Put 2.5 gallons of fresh gas in there. So we'll come around to this side. And we'll take our little mouse be out plug. So there's that. And I don't know if I can do this with one hand, but we'll see, because I gotta choke it. We'll start it. It's in neutral, so just in case everybody's worried. Alright, so fuel's been running for a minute. Let's see. I wonder if I can find a spot to set you guys up where you can see. There, I might be blocking half the shot, but we'll see if this works. Now I can choke it. Alright, so we cranked it over as you saw there, and came over here, pulled some couple plugs, and one was a little dirty looking, so I cleaned it, but we had no spark. So grabbed my test light, grounded it off on the ground strap, and then turn the key on. I have power to my coil, power on the other side of the coil, which means I got power to the distributor. So then next thing is, this is a 1950s, so it's points. So realistically, it's stupid simple. You can still even get all these parts. You might have to look into like other oddball small engine applications, but you can usually get most of the stuff. But yeah, so ended up taking and cleaning the points here, and I don't know if it'll do it, but when they're in contact like this, it just did it once. You turn the power on. Let's see if we can catch this. You should be able to get. Yeah, it doesn't want to do it now. Oh, there it was. I don't know if you heard that, it sparked. But that's basically what's happening every time you open and close your points, is it's making a little, breaking a contact, and so it sparks a little bit. So this one little quick cheater way. It's not the best way. I don't advise if you're not experienced with it, but in a pinch you can kind of figure out. Normally cleaning points you can use actually cash, cash money. Fold it up, get a spot that's really inky, full of the where they printed it, and it's got a lot of patterns on it, and you fold it all up, so you use that spot, you put it in between there, and you rub it back and forth, and it'll clean the carbon off the points without chewing them up and wrecking them. So yeah, I'm gonna put this all back together and we'll see what happens. Alright, we have spark now. So cleaning the points twice and playing around with things, we got spark. So Any luck, she should fire. Alright, so doesn't look too bad. Broke open the carburetor here since I'm having a little bit of idle issues, which I'm kind of leaning towards it's something to do with the floaty float. Which the floats are empty, but I gotta pull this pin here and check the needle, and I got a little bit of corrosion going on there. Clean that up. Bowl's not too bad, but I'll clean everything in here best I can without going crazy. See if I can get this out. Shouldn't be too bad, but yeah, just kind of go through and clean everything the best I can and go from there. Alright, so we're back here on the tractor again. It's technically Memorial Day, so next day but the first footage you see prior to this. But yeah, messed with the fuel tank a little more. I blew some air back up through the little pickup tube or whatever you want to call it in there, and it seems to be flowing fuel a little better. So we're going to try to get this thing moved around to the other side of the F750 there, where it's a little bit better spot to work on, where it's not so cluttered with crap that's been stacked around it for a while. So yeah, I ended up airing up that tire there off camera because it was flat. I don't know if you can see, there's a tractor apparently dropped pretty hard at one point on that rim, because there's a big flat spot in that rim, so I'm gonna have to straighten that out a little bit, or put a curve back in it, I guess, better rather. But yeah, so I go grab the key, hook battery back up, pull some stuff off the back of this thing that I don't want just floating around, like these. Yeah, so see if we can get this thing fire moving. I know kiddo wants a ride, so we'll have to give him a ride here. Oh, hopefully this works. Well, as long as I can get it out of the hole it's in, I'll be happy. The mouse be out. Oh. Hey. Custom battery pack. Oh, got no fuel running out of there. Alright. Now theoretically this thing shouldn't need any choke, but still got fuel problems. I was gonna try the 3-point adjustment. Do you see this thing flopping around? This is actually a spline shaft. I don't know if you can see right in there. It's a spline shaft, and that's for the loader hydraulic pump. Maybe I'll show you guys that in a little bit later in this video. But yeah, something came flying off on the other side there, and I don't know what. I might look for it, but it might have just been weeds or something. There's something with a thump. But there's no funny noises. Never has been with this thing. So yeah. Well, I'm gonna mess with the fuel system again. Woohoo. Alright, I've made the executive decision to take the gas tank off completely so I can try to clean it a little better. These are pretty simple. It's 2 bolts in the back, 1 carriage bolt in the front that's got the spring, and then I have a double lock nut on it, or 2 nuts on it to lock together. Sorry. Just that way it didn't back off. So it's just 3 bolts, and then your fuel line off your fuel bowl right here. So yeah, it's not too bad, and then it just kind of lifts off, and if it's not full of gas, it's actually light, which I only got like 2 gallons in mine, so we're pretty good. So I'm gonna rip that off, and we're gonna pull the fuel bowl off again, I guess. All right, there's the gas tank off. I forgot, you do technically have to take either these 2 bolts out, which are on the front of attached to the tank, or these 2 bolts out at the back, and then this either stays on the tractor or goes with the tank. Either way, it works either way. I did it off the tank because then I don't have to fight with it to get it snicked back in there. That's just the heat shield for the exhaust here. So apparently I never tightened this last bolt up. Minor. So these tractors, I don't know if anybody's familiar with them. Usually the exhaust comes from here and goes down, and actually exhaust exits out the back, kind of like a car. This one, because it had the loader on and stuff, they had, well, actually the exhaust is over here, what's left of it. They put a little exhaust, this one on like that, with the muffler and the rain cap on top. So this is how this was set up. So it had a little stack on it. So I haven't decided what exactly I'm gonna go with. I know the stack thing works a little better when you have the alternator in here, just because that makes it kind of tight. So we'll see. We'll figure that out. We'll cross that road when we get there. Yeah, so I think for now I'm going to try to get this fuel tank cleaned up a little bit. And that's what the little baby motor looks like. Supposedly, and it does look like it, the flathead V8s will literally bolt right up. And the sad thing is I had a block at one point, but it ended up getting scrapped because it was rough. But yeah, so I'm going to keep working on this. Shove this back in. Wish there's a way you could just get that out of there without having to disassemble the whole thing, but I don't think there is. So yeah, clean this tank and we'll go from there. Oh, that shaft makes a terrible noise in the front. There. Transmission holds in park. Perfect. It lives again, boys and ladies and whoever's listening. Oh, I do believe I have a little bit of fuel weepage there. So yeah, next up on the list is the kiddo I know was wanting to ride on the tractor. So I figure we'll let it sit here for the minute and shut the fuel off for the time being. Maybe I'll look over some stuff and then we'll get the little boy a ride. I think this is where this one's going to end off. Got the tractor moved to a spot that's going to be a little easier to work on for the time being. Cut that little tree shoot up, get that out of there so it's out of my way. But yeah, so got some things to work through. I'll make sure I go grab my little plug for the carburetor there. I believe I got the air cleaner for it up in the shop, so upstairs, so I gotta grab that. Yeah, power steering does kind of work. It was empty, so I put, I don't know, cord in it. It sucked that down and was working on filling the system up. So the only leak I've really seen so far is out of the bottom of the reservoir, so that's not too bad, I guess. I started a list of things I need to get, but you know, the tack, believe it or not, looking like this does actually still work. So those hours actually might be accurate total hours. The engine was rebuilt at one point in the past by my uncle, so I know the engine's been gone through once because I believe it had a crack in the head or something like that that he welded up, and which that's what he does. He fixes tractors and stuff, so I'm not worried about that. But gotta get some oddball things like, you know, the shift knob, the little boot down here. This boot, I believe, is actually the part that was guilty for filling up this section of the housing with or maybe it wasn't that part. No, there's something, might have been that, or it might have been, remember, I gotta check. I might not have put fluid back in this, in the transmission there, the main transmission, so maybe I'll have to do that. But did manage to get the 3-point works, the PTO works. Yeah, pretty much just about everything actually works on the thing. Besides, I guess some of the gauges obviously don't work because, you know, I mean, you got stuff like this. Those are one of these, I believe. Yeah, so this is, shows you how old this is. This is the temperature sensor wire, or it's like a tube. This oil pressure is a steel tube or copper tube. So yeah, it's probably where it's gonna sit. My honest goal is to try to get to Pioneer Power in LeSueur, Minnesota this year, which is the end of August. So we're gonna see what we can get done, if we can get it, you know, worthwhile to bring it onto the show. So thanks for watching. Sun's probably, I don't know, it's kind of in my eyes, but whatever. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like the video, and go ahead and leave a comment and go find something to fix.